Hello everyone, welcome back. So as promised, I have some of this flint, English flint, that Jason sent me, and I said I would show you how I get bigger pieces like this into smaller pieces. If you've ever seen me do flint and steel over the years, you'll see that I tend to use smaller pieces. I like smaller pieces. But I've used bigger pieces too. Now some of these, they're all ready to go. You don't have to do anything. And then some, these are ready to go also, but these are too small for me to work with as far as making smaller flakes. So we'll try to pick out a couple of bigger ones that I could possibly get some smaller flakes off of. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's all ready to go. We'll test that out. Alright, so there's a good little sample. And then I'll show you that they obviously are going to work without doing anything. They're all going to throw sparks. Absolutely no problems whatsoever. I mean, look at that. But if you wanted to make a smaller piece, let's say to put in one of my little kits, wax canvas rolls, or you made something yourself. So I have here all my flint knapping kit. And here I just got some pieces of leather. And then in here I have some boppers. And I'll show you the way that I do it. Some pressure flakers made from antler, copper. I got a couple pieces of rocks. These are to, you know, grind in some platforms, pressure flakers, but we're not going to be using pressure flakers. We're not going to be using any of these rocks, so we'll get them out of the way. What we're going to be using is the boppers, okay? Now, I'll show you what you do. Let's say this piece right here. So it's sharp, but it's not really sharp, okay? So what I'll do is I'll get a piece. This is like that anti-fatigue foam that you would step on. So I'll put this here. Hopefully you could see it. And it's not touching this, okay? It's just kind of, it's up a little bit, right? And then I'll get this little bopper, okay, which is, I think I have a video somewhere in there how I make these. It's actually got lead in it, okay? And I'll take this and I'll just hit it. I don't know if you saw that, but that removed a chip right on that side. Now hopefully that shows up, but if you see it blew out the cortex here, and it made this razor sharp. I mean razor sharp. Hopefully you can see all those sparks shooting off of there. I mean, they're just flying off of there. So that's how you can get a nicer edge back on it. But now let's see if I can get a little piece off of it to, let's say, put in a kit. We'll use this piece. This piece is pretty gnarly, okay? So now I'll take the bigger bopper, and again, be careful, wear eye protection. You can cut yourself. It's best to wear gloves. I just don't particularly care to wear gloves, but I've banged my fingers many times. And again, smaller pieces are harder to work with, okay? What you want to do is just kind of figure out a good spot to hit it. So I'm not going to be hitting it on the edge. I'm going to be hitting it a little bit further in because I want to knock off a piece, okay? So I get a good grip on it as best I can. All right, so we got a couple nice little, look at that. That's the perfect piece. I didn't even see that one come off, but that blew out right here. Look at that. Now this piece here would be perfect to fit inside one of those wax canvas kits. And again, my reasoning behind using small pieces, well, in the beginning, that's all I had. I didn't have any big pieces. So I literally learned on small pieces. And that's how I honed my skills. And, you know, pretty much came to the conclusion that if you got a small piece, you kind of gotta really concentrate on what you're doing. It's that old saying, you know, aim small, miss small. So with the small piece, you don't have a ton of room to just start banging on it. So you kind of concentrate where you're going. But this is all you need. See this little tiny piece? All right. You see those sparks? If you watch, they're going right over my finger. Look at that. And the sharper the piece, the more sparks you're going to get. All right, let's see if I can get another piece out of this. So now I'm going to turn this over. And where that piece blew out, I'm going to hit that spot. Perfect. So now we got another smaller piece. English flint is like the best in the world. I mean, look at those sparks. They're going all the way down into my hand. If I did a demonstration once where I put chalk cloth down here in my hand, and I would hit this stone up here to demonstrate that it was going down in there. Let's see if I can do that right now. Where's my chalk cloth? So there's a piece of chalk cloth. All right. Let's put this in my hand here. Where's that piece I was just playing with? All right, so chalk cloth is down there. What was that, 1 or 2 strikes? So that just shows you the principle of the sparks go over the top, okay? Let's see if we could get it. Oh, another thing too I learned, it's a little kind of accidental, but I like that piece. I don't want to mess with it. Okay, so let me get this little piece of, this is just a piece of live oak, okay? So what I learned was that if you take a piece of chert or whatever, okay, and you hold it over a piece of wood like this or a log or something, okay, not so much a log, but like the cut part at the top of the log. So if you look here, you have all of this cortex on the back, okay, so watch this. You see that? You see how that blew the cortex off the back? But by holding it on the piece of wood or the log, it creates a spot where it doesn't want to travel too far down it, if that makes sense. If you watch flint knappers, you know what I mean. Like the flake doesn't travel all the way down it to thin it out too much. So now what I did was I created almost like a chisel point on there. If you look, it's flat here and it goes off on an angle here. Watch the sparks that this throws. You ready for this? And then that's a way you can keep this sharp. Let's just say this gets all dull. Yeah, I'll use the stone I used to grind it. All right, so I just ground the heck out of that. You still get sparks, but not like they just were, right? So if you use this method again, put it on the stone, on the piece of wood, take your bopper, Okay, give it a few whacks. Now you got another sharp edge. Ready for this? You see the difference? All right, well, there you go. Jason, that was for you and for anybody else that was, you know, curious on how you could sharpen. I mean, this piece could last you years and years by just doing what I just showed you, sharpening it, you know, with a bopper. You don't have to use a bopper. You can use a little piece of a rock, put it on there. Just be careful. Don't go crazy. And you could make that edge really, really sharp. And then, like I said, to make smaller pieces, you could also, I wouldn't use it depends, okay? You have to look at the piece. Not every time you do something is it going to come out right. It may just blow out. Like this piece would be really hard to do. Chances are I would probably just hit this one in the middle, but I kind of like the way this one looks. It's translucent. I don't want to mess this one up. I kind of want to save it, but you know, if I was looking to get a smaller piece out of this, I might just whack it in the middle and see what it looks like. But you know, you saw how to get these little pieces out and to sharpen it. Let's get a piece out of this. Let's see, where do I want to hit that? I'm going to hit this one right here. That's like a razor, like a razor. Look at that one. That is a nice little piece. So again, you got to play with it. The smaller they are, the trickier they are to get flakes off of. Let's try this one again. See now how it just crumbled? Because there's a seam running through there. So this one, to get more out of this, is going to be tricky. Oh ho ho! We got another little piece off. Look at this. Again, these size pieces are perfect to fit inside the kit. And this right here, this is like if I press much harder with my finger, I'd cut my finger. And there you go. All right. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you got some useful information out of it. Find yourself some flint or some chert. Play around. I mean, that's the best way to do is just play around. If you just want to sharpen it, you know, use this technique where you put it over a piece of wood or something and just bop it down. You can use a rock, or you can make one of these boppers, or you could use a piece of deer antler. I mean, that works fine too. I'll show you. Let's do this one. So we don't really have a very, very defined edge right here. Okay, so let's see if we can make that sharp. See, this one's not working. It's because it's actually just crumbling. I don't want to bust this one in half, but I'd like to get a couple. You know what? It actually did give me a sharp edge there. Look at that. So yep, you can use antler, you can use a copper bopper, you can use a piece of stone, you know, whatever you got laying around. Well, there you go. All right, this time I'm really done. So thanks for coming along, everyone. And Jason, my brother, I thank you so much for all the goodies. I'm having so much fun with it. Really, yeah, much love to you, my brother. And much love to all you, my brothers and sisters. Thanks for coming along. Have some fun out there. Be safe, and I'll see you on the next one.